Hey, my friends. I have decided that I am going to record this as a video and then and then put this in a couple of different places. So if you want to watch this as a video, go to my YouTube channel. If you want to listen to this as a podcast, then I hope you're listening to me through Anchor or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. I am filming this from my closet because it's a super good place to be alone, to find the right lighting, and look at that. Kind of crazy lighting, huh? And to share with you the things that I wanted to share today about priorities. I don't know why it has taken me so long to do a podcast, to do a recording on this. So I hope that this serves you as much as it has served me. Do you consider your to-do list a list of your priorities or just a list of crappy things that you have to get done? Like, I truly believe that you do not have to set your goals to make laundry and the dishwasher and getting dressed your main priorities for the day. I think you are better than that. I think you were made for more. And I think those things are really important. Getting dressed, yeah, super important to your mindset. Having a clean house, right up there with creating a supportive environment. But my friend, that should not be the only thing that you think you can accomplish. So I'm here to talk about priorities today and why setting priorities for your day can help level up your mindset and improve your mental health right away. Are you ready for those? So actually, I'm going to share a personal story first. We spoke to a dear friend this weekend, my husband and I, just the two of us, about some struggles that he's been having. And it all boils down to whether or not he likes himself and feels that he is important enough to take care of. Now, it sounds really funny to me that, or not to me only, but it might sound funny to anyone. It does to my kids to think that adults don't have themselves all put together all the time, right? But we all have bad days, and we have to admit that to ourselves. And I think one way we can really gain traction from admitting that to ourselves is by putting self-care on the list of things to do, and then creating priorities in our lives that remove distraction and really help create momentum towards those goals that are goals instead of desires, or instead of somebody else's narrative to your life, right? So I truly believe, I certainly don't think that the people around you can't give you a boost and a recommendation of things that you need to do, but you have your dreams, your goals, and they're always different from somebody else's. So your priorities are going to be different too. And based on the balance in your life that you want to have, which is something that I think you should focus on. There I go, telling you what to do. That you need to focus on what's important to you and make them a priority. So if cleaning your house is important to you, that should be a priority. However, it should not be the only priority. There are other parts of your life that you need to live, other parts that you need to share and contribute with other people. That brings the greatest joy. And I am here to tell you right now that there is more self-worth in sharing yourself with others than keeping it to yourself, right? It's like money in the bank. If we invest that money, then it is going to grow and we're going to be so happy with the return. But if we keep it all to ourselves, we're going to see very little increase, and chances are we're going to use it up and it's all going to run out. So to increase that value and that mental capacity that you have inside, that divine genius that you have, that I have, that everybody has in their life, I want you to set 3 priorities today. And why do I say 3? Because, well, because somebody else taught me to say 3. And because I have learned, wait, let's back up a minute. In his book, Good to Great, now I can't remember the author. Super sorry. It's called Good to Great by something Collins. And I've read the book and I can't remember the name. Dang it. There's early Alzheimer's set in already. He says that if you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. And I have seen this time and time again in my daily routine of setting 3 priorities. If I put more than one thing on my list, I am sure to get absolutely nothing done, because then I feel overwhelmed, I feel stressed, and if I don't get started on those priorities, I feel like a failure. And then I think, well, what's the use? I'm not doing one thing, so I'm definitely not going to get to these other things. I'll just screw it and I'll do whatever I want to. And usually that turns out to be binge eating or something less productive. And so I want you to know that while you can get a whole heck of a lot done in one day, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. And that long laundry list of things that you write down to do and you have such ambitions and high hopes of accomplishing, it's okay to not do it all at once. Now, there are strategies and things that I like to teach my clients personally to help you get more done in less time. But it doesn't mean you have to strike 10 things off the list to consider yourself successful for the day. It's just a lie that we keep telling ourselves, that we have to be busy in order to be successful. It's just not. It's just not. So stop and slow down and focus, be in the moment on one thing at a time, one priority. And when you've done that thing, give yourself a pat on the back, dang it. Just acknowledge that you have worked hard and you have the capacity to do that along with so many other things. But with each thing, you must be present. So allow yourself that presence to accomplish each priority. And at the end of the day, when you've gotten 2 out of the 3 priorities done, which is what usually happens to me, I feel really good about the things that I've done, because I remember, or try to remember, and I'm not always good at this, but I'm just here to say now that I try to remember that it's the bigger picture that matters, right? So let me give you a story, and I'll just end with this. When our youngest son was born, he was born with Down syndrome. And we knew that he would be before he was ever born. And I did a lot of praying and a lot of reflecting. And I knew that it was an answer to my prayers. And it was a challenge to stretch me and to help me see that each person, no matter how they come into this world, is loved and valued and should be treated the same way on earth as they were treated in heaven, as they were treated as a spirit. The spirits that possess our bodies are not the same as our bodies. And we have to remember that everybody has worth. Everybody has that divine genius within them. Everybody has the capacity to be great at what they can do, what their potential is. So I'll get off that soapbox. But when our son was born, he came a month early, and he couldn't breastfeed. It was really difficult. So he had to be fed through a tube, and I could practice feeding him, but it would wear him out. And so we had to measure his food intake, and of course we measured his food intake that wasn't being where he wasn't breastfeeding. But the food that he was getting while breastfeeding was the most important, because that would tell us whether or not he got to go home and when. And I remember at the end of 1 week, and it was probably the second week that we were there, I had this breakdown because I couldn't see the forest for the trees. I could only see that he had only eaten 2 ounces, or not 2 ounces, excuse me, 2 grams that day, or at that session. And I couldn't get it out of my head that he's never going home, because he's only eaten 2 grams at this session, and 5 at this session, and 10 at this session. And albeit 10 was awesome, it didn't happen very often. And so it was really discouraging for me. And the doctor came in and sat down with me and helped me to remember through tear-filled eyes that I had to see that over the course of 2 weeks, he had made significant progress. And it was really, really important to measure those grams and see the accumulative, not just the present amount that he was eating. And so I tell you this story because sometimes we look at the tasks and think, man, I only got 2 things done today. I only got 3 things done today. What the heck? Like, my life sucks. I'm not productive. I'm not busy. I can do more things than this. And we run ourselves into the ground, and then we find we can't do anything. And so I want you to think that if you only set 3 priorities today, at the end of the month, at the end of 30 days, how many priorities, how many really, really important things have you accomplished? 90. And 90 is a lot bigger than 3. So remember that consistency is the key, not how many things you get done, but the things that you do with your whole heart and soul, and the accumulation of those things over time. Being more consistent is more important than how many things you end up doing. So set your 3 priorities today and make sure that they align with the things that are really important to you. And I hope that means that you have set some high goals for yourself. You've set goals financially, spiritually, emotionally, socially, especially at this period of time when we don't have much connection with the outside world as far as friends and coworkers, or even strangers are concerned. But those connections are still really important. And so if one of your priorities is attached to making sure that you stay connected, that making sure that your social health is as important as your physical health, or your physical health is as important as your spiritual health, then you can find a better balance and greater happiness along the way when you are working slower, more present, but getting more important things done. Instead of feeling like you got lots done because you spent 2 hours perusing Instagram and oh, there we go. And feel like your day was a waste of time when you thought in the moment you were getting so much done. So busyness is not, or busyment is not the focus. Movement is. And make sure everything you do moves you towards being a better you, being a healthier, balanced person, being a healthier, balanced parent, woman, man, teen, whoever, whatever you are, whoever you are, and whatever you choose to do. Make sure that what you do makes you a better you. Remember that a healthy we begins with a healthy me. So go show yourself some love, take care of yourself, and we'll see you on the next video or on the next podcast. Thanks so much for joining me.